Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to my favourite animated movie of every year since I've been alive. I've been planning to do this for a while now since, yes, I am going to do my favourite movie overall of every year I've been alive and the worst movie of every year I've been alive, but I'll get to those later on, maybe on my birthday or sometime like that, so I'm just going to do animated first. And I'm going to do from 1999, because that's the year I was born, up until last year, 2022. I mean, I can't do 2023 yet, because there hasn't been an animated film released in 2023 just yet. There are some coming, but by the time I'm recording this, I can only do up from 1989 up until last year. So let's get to it. Here's my favourite animated movie of every year since I've been alive. 1999 is, which is the year I was born, so we'll start there, is The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant is one of my favourite animated sci-fi films. I love the story about this boy who befriends a giant robot. Anytime you make a film about a human befriending an alien or a robot, it always works, and I always enjoy those kind of films. 2000 is The Road to El Dorado. The Road to El Dorado is one of the most underrated DreamWorks animated films out there. I love the characters like Miguel and Tulio. The songs by Elton John and Tim Rice are amazing. Like, come on, it's tough to be a god. So yeah, one of my favorites. 2001 is Spirited Away. Definitely one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films. Maybe it is. Actually, it's my favorite Studio Ghibli film. Hayao Miyazaki did an excellent job with directing this film. The animation is beautiful. I love the characters such as Chihiro, Lin, Yubaba, and it's overall one of my favourite anime films in general. 2002 is Lilo and Stitch. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. Lilo and Stitch is one of my favourite Disney films that I really enjoy. I love the friendship between Lilo and Stitch, and I think Lilo and Nani are great sisters. I also love the aliens, Jumbo and Pleakley. It's just an overall fun, feel-good movie. 2003 is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is one of my favourite Pixar films. I love its story about this fish called Marlin who takes his son Nemo to school, and then Nemo gets caught by a diver, and then Marlin has to go on a journey to save Nemo. Dory is one of my favourite animated sidekicks, and again, I've talked about Finding Nemo a lot before, so I've always loved this movie. 2004 is The Incredibles. The Incredibles is another one of my favourite Pixar films, and especially with its characters like Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, Violet, Dash, Jack, Frozone, Syndrome. It's overall one of my favourite animated superhero movies, and yeah, it's The Incredibles. Again, I've talked about it a lot. 2005 is Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit is one of my favourite Aardman films. It's great that by this point Wallace and Gromit finally got their own full-length film. The way they did the Were-Rabbit idea is clever, and it's a great film, so yeah. 2006 is Over the Hedge. Over the Hedge is a great DreamWorks film with some great characters, clever jokes, some fun heist, and again, I've talked about it a lot as I've used Heather in my movie spoof cast videos before, so yep, it's one of my favourites. 2007 is Ratatouille. Ratatouille is a really good Pixar film about this rat called Remy who ends up in Paris and meets this chef and he learns how to cook ratatouille. It's a clever and interesting story. Chef Skinner is one of my favourite Pixar villains. I love it. 2008 is Kung Fu Panda. Definitely one of my favourite DreamWorks films. I love how it's about this panda called Po who wants to learn Kung Fu and be a part of the Furious 5. The sequels are also great. I can't wait for Kung Fu Panda 4 next year in 2024. So yeah. 2009 would be Up. Up is an amazing Pixar film that I'm glad was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. It's the second animated film in history to get a Best Picture nomination. The beginning with Carl and Ellie is sad but beautiful. The rest of the movie is great as well, with Carl's friendship with Russell and Doug. It has an excellent adventure story. It's just one of my favourites. 2010, Toy Story 3. Again, talked about the Toy Story franchise a lot. The third film won Best Animated Feature, but also, like Up, it got nominated for Best Picture, and that's how great this third film is. The story is well told, with Woody and the toys having to escape this daycare. The ending is sad but satisfying, and don't worry, I still loved Toy Story 4. I even thought that had an even more satisfying ending, but still. 2011 is The Adventures of Tintin. 2011 was kind of a year for, and a bit of a lackluster year for animated films, but The Adventures of Tintin was a great action-adventure animated film directed by Steven Spielberg and produced by Peter Jackson. I loved the comics growing up, so of course I love this movie. This definitely reminded me a lot of Indiana Jones, and I really want a sequel so bad to this movie. I hope we get it someday. I don't know if we will, but love every second of The Adventures of Tintin. 2012 is Wreck-It Ralph, I'm Gonna Wreck It! One of my favourite Disney films from the last decade, with all these amazing cool video game characters, as well as this guy who is a villain in his video game, but is a good guy in terms of his true self and personality, and wants to be a hero by exploring other video games in the arcade. Love for characters like Ralph himself, Vanellope, Felix, Calhoun, the villain King Candy, all great, and I enjoy the sequel Ralph makes in it as well, so yeah. 2013 is Frozen, let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Again, one of my favourite Disney films that I've talked about so many times. Love Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Sven, Olaf, the story, songs, animation. It's overall a great movie. 2014 will be the Lego Movie, Everything is Awesome, where we live in a dream. 2013 was, for me, an awesome year for animated films. Like, you got Big Hero 6, How to Train Your Dragon 2, but I just had to pick the Lego Movie because it's surprisingly great. And what I mean by that is, I thought it was going to be a product placement movie, but it actually ended up being funny, heartwarming, very well written, and very well animated. I guess that's because directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller are geniuses, and they know how to execute a film with that idea properly. 2015 is Inside Out. Inside Out is probably my favourite Pixar film from the last decade of the 2010s. I love its concept of emotions actually being inside this young girl's head, and yes, we are getting a sequel next year in 2024. I'm excited to see that, but until then, I love the first one. But don't worry, I'm still excited for Inside Out too. Anyways, 2016, Zootopia. 2016 had a lot of great animated films, but Zootopia was my favourite. Like, I like how it's this animal buddy cop film with this rabbit and fox, which are Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, solving cases together. The world they created with this film is fascinating, and it's overall one of the best of the last decade. 2017 is Coco. 2017 was again a weak year for animated films, but Coco was great. With a beautiful story, wonderful animation, great music, especially Remember Me. Very heartwarming and sad too. The way they did the Day of the Dead concept is clever, and it's very well done. 2018 would be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of the best comic book movies of the last decade. I'm glad it won Best Animated Feature. It's great to see a film about Miles Morales. The way they do the multiverse thing was unique and excellent, and I can't wait for the sequel this summer. 2019 would be a tie between two animated films because I can't decide which one's better, which will be Frozen 2 and Claws. I can't decide which one's better because Frozen 2 was such a great sequel that while I do love the original Frozen, the sequel was even better in my opinion, and I am surprised it didn't get nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars, but Claws was an amazing Christmas movie with the best Santa origin story in my opinion. J.K. Simmons did an excellent job with voicing him, so yeah. 2020, Soul. 2020 was not a very good year for movies since that was the year almost nothing came out due to COVID-19 at the time, but Soul, which did come out on Disney Plus, was really good. especially with Jamie Foxx's Joe Gardner, and it's got an interesting story. I love it. 2021 would be Encanto. Encanto has become one of my favorite Disney films in recent years. I love its songs. We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. I love the characters like Mirabel, Bruno, Isabella, Louisa. Amazing story, amazing animation, and speaking of Disney, I really hope that this year's Wish does better at the box office, along with Pixar's Elemental. Please hope they do, because come on Disney, you're better at marketing your movies and advertising them. But I digress. Last year, 2022, was Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Definitely my favourite Pinocchio movie of last year, and I'm hoping it wins Best Animated Feature at the Oscars, since Guillermo del Toro did an excellent job with this passion project. I love his retelling of the classic story. There's remarkable stop-motion animation, the great musical numbers like Ciao Papa, Mio Papa, heartwarming and emotional moments, and incredible voice acting from Gregory Mann, Ewan McGregor, David Bradley, Tilda Swinton, Tom Kenny, Christoph Waltz, Finn Wolfhard, and Kate Blanchett. It's overall one of the best Pinocchio movies that's right up there with the Walt Disney animated version, obviously. Love it. So yeah, those are my favourite that's my favourite animated films from every year since I've been alive. So what are yours? What are your favourite animated movies from every year you've been alive from? The year you were born up until last year by the time I'm recording this. So tell me down in the comments, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.